Aussies should take sickies even when they're not sick. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your hashtag not sponsored cheap coffee and let's look at this article, which I think is, well, has been written to kind of evoke an emotional response, guys. Let me just overlay that here. Here we go. So, Aussie says workers shouldn't feel guilty for calling in sick even if they are not ill. So even if they're not sick, you shouldn't feel guilty about calling in sick. Now, here's the thing. I'm a independent business owner, a small business owner. I have had staff in the past. You don't want them coming to the office sick. They didn't want me coming to the office sick. I would go to the office, and I remember one time I got sick in the office. I felt terrible. I went and slept in the bunk bed we had in the server room. We had a bunk up high. This was the darkest, most comfortable room I've ever slept in. It was really good. Like, we had a med bay at office. Worked really well. But, you know, if people are genuinely sick, you want them to take sick leave to not spread their illness around the office. But if they're just taking a sick leave, treating it as holiday leave, additional holiday time, then it all kind of goes out the window. Then you might as well just remove it all and just bank it as part of their holiday time. I know one guy who was notorious for always taking his sick leave. And in one side of the argument I can understand. You're not going to get it back. You're not going to get it transferred to other jobs. You're not going to get paid for it. So people use it. I also understand why it's there for people who are sick and don't have any savings or haven't got a buffer. They need that to support them. So, but, we've got the culture of Aussies taking sick leave. No wonder we're kind of getting destroyed with productivity compared to other countries around the world. If this is the attitude here, do you honestly really think Australia can have a manufacturing sector that can compete with other cultures? Just be honest. No, it can't. Gen Zers has lashed out at a ridiculous issue with Aussie workplaces, revealing the thing they should be able to say to their boss without feeling guilty. Okay. A young Aussie is going viral for telling workers that they shouldn't feel guilty for calling in sick, even when they aren't actually ill. So if you're lying, or if you're taking... These are probably people with no responsibility. Okay, it's kind of different when you're at a job with responsibility or you're working with a group of people that are depending on you to meet a project, meet a deadline, that if you chuck a sickie, you're not going to... your work is just going to fall onto others. So he's amassed almost 100,000 views by reminding young workers that sick leave is meant to be used. No, it's not. It's there if you need it. He said he wasn't sure who needed to hear this message, but then summarized that probably everyone did, or surmised. You don't need to feel guilty for calling in sick, he declared. He said in Melbourne, Australia, there's a culture of people feeling bad for chucking a sickie, and Aussies feel like the devil on earth over just having to use their sick leave. Well, in Melbourne, you get sick with the weather. I mean, I've done no work today. Yesterday we had 6 kids with gastro, guys. Rachel hasn't got it. She's not got it. Every one of us did. And it was, I swear, I think we went out to Westfield shopping. We probably caught it in the Apple store with all the bloody dirty hippies there. That's where we caught it. We had to buy Rachel a new phone. But, so I've done no work today. I'm here tonight recording, and I need to, get some visuals done, but I've pretty much written off 2 days. So that's just, I'm not going to get paid. I'm a small business owner. That's just part of life. But you don't feel guilty about it. The young Aussie said this attitude makes no sense because the whole point of sick leave is for people to be able to use it. No, it's so you don't spread your disease among your colleagues. It is literally what sick leave is for. It's literally why we live in a good country. So when you get sick, you still get paid, he argued. I mean, what does he do for a living? That's the question. I mean, is he trying to become a professional TikToker and just, to tell things people want to hear? I can't talk. I'm a YouTuber, aren't I? Maybe if I'd repeating shit like this, I'd be getting the younger demo all of you are my age and above. How many of you are small business owners in construction? I'd love to see how many. I'm just picturing some crusty old 45-year-old going, oh, this bloody bullshit. Look at this little twat saying, no, you get your job done. Sick leaves on the weekend. Yeah, he added that he thought this kind of negative culture around sick leave was particularly heightened in the retail industry. In retail, if you call in sick, the manager acts like you've personally gone up to them and stabbed their entire family. It's just so ridiculous, he joked. Well, it's retail. It's shit. You're not dealing with professionals. Okay, I guess I'm looking at this from the eyes of someone in a professional office environment. That if you're sick, you don't turn up because, you're going to spread it around. In retail, it throws the whole schedule and shifts out of the window, but I mean, this is why you do the retail job for in your 20s and you get a qualification so you can go do something else. So you don't need to deal with these type of managers. That's the point. By sharing his relaxed attitude towards it, he's enforced how important it was to use your sick leave. If I'm sick, I'm going to call in sick. If I'm not sick, I'm probably going to call in sick. That's just how it is, he proclaimed. Well, I mean, this guy's now plastered his picture all over Twitch or TikTok or whatever, saying he's going to lie and take a sick leave. I mean, do people not realize that you do social media searches on people when you're looking for jobs or looking for applicants? The comment section was filled with young people sharing how fed up they were with the culture around sick leave. Saw this just after calling in sick and overthinking it all day, one claimed. Oh man, a lot of these are just young, inexperienced people. When you get a bit older, it's a bit different. You can ring out and say, yeah, I'm sick, and obviously if you have a mature and experienced manager, they're not going to want you to spread disease. I had a meeting. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday. I was meant to go out for a site meeting for a school project. I rang up the PM and I said, yeah, mate, all the kids have got gastro. Can I Teams in the meeting? And he's going, yes. Teams in. So, yeah, I think he appreciated that. But, I mean, I guess it's just, I think we're dealing with a lot of immature people here, both in the employees and the managers in retail and these type of shit kicker jobs that we've all done when we're younger. The trick is just to, make sure you're not doing them by the time you're 40. You want to kind of get skills up so you can do other stuff, guys. Another shared they were sick of employers demanding a doctor's certificate, considering going to doctor is now so expensive. Yes, you shouldn't. They can't actually demand that. They can't insist on that. If they insist on a doctor's certificate, they have to pay you for that doctor's certificate, the cost of getting it. So yeah, you're dealing with frankly, lies there. You just say nah. But should you call in sick on I haven't done it for so long. One person shared that she got a massive guilt trip anytime she called in sick because of staff shortages, which meant she was now working with a back injury. Meanwhile, one claimed that even as a casual employee, her boss always has a hissy fit when she calls in sick and her shifts are reduced in response. Yeah, well then you've got to find a different job. Okay? You're working with assholes. You're working with in shit jobs. You've got to find a different job. And I know it's not easy. You got to skill up. Maybe start doing some night courses at university or TAFE or something to just get more skills so you can work somewhere where they treat you like an adult. I mean, get a trade. They're going to give you shit if you're sick. They'll tear into you, but they're not going to want you coughing and bloody spluttering all over the work site. They don't want to pay you to sit in the portaloo. Another shared that when she worked in retail, she was made to feel like the worst person when she was ill. Another shared a story about how her manager told her she needed to find cover when she called in sick, even though she was throwing up. Oh, I mean, these are just typical retail shit. This is what you get. Someone else claimed they'd rather go to work sick so that employers knew they were genuinely sick and get sent home. Yeah, I mean, you can do that too. The anxiety of calling in sick was way worse than going to work unwell and hoping to be sent home. One argued that you don't have to be too sick to take a sick day, and instead they should be used to focus on your overall well-being. Yeah, okay, I guess I'm a different generation for that. I think that's what it has to be. Or these are just all the hippie chicks that pretend that, you know, crystals have got healing powers and that type of stuff. All the things blokes pretend to be interested in. Sometimes you just need a day off to sit in the sun or just rest. That's okay too, she argued. Yeah, see, told you, hippie chick. That's called the weekend. Or if you're in retail or in nightclubs, Monday, Tuesday. That's called your time off. I mean, but dude, unless you're working 24/7, 7 days a week, you'll find time for it. It's harder sometimes than it's not. Workplace expert Gary Fahey said the issue of workers feeling guilty when calling in sick is a twofold problem. Any worker who is unwell or a little bit off is going to be a lot less productive. So it can be detrimental to have people in that aren't in a healthy state, he pointed out. However, Mr. Fahey said, you can see why bosses don't always react well to people needing a day off because of their pressures. I remember there was one guy, he was always calling in sick, even at a university, like tutoring job that we were all doing. He was calling in sick to that, and this is 1 hour once a week. He was calling in sick to that. And I remember I went and had a meeting with a builder, and this guy had worked for them. And they said, oh, did you know him? And I go, yeah, I know him. And I go, did he call in sick a lot? And they all looked at me and go, yeah, look, yep, that's him, all right. So it's followed him from job to job. This is why maybe you should get the option of, okay, can you cash out your sick leave at the end of the year if you don't use it? How many people would like that? You know, nice little bonus, end of the year. Why not? Because as an employer, you know, it sits there, it pools. Initial reactions from bosses and workplaces are from their own stresses. The labour market is tight, money is tight, and performance pressures are high, he pointed out. He said that it needs to be on the employers or leadership team to make people comfortable calling in sick. Yeah, I mean, a mature response is we don't want you here if you're sick. Okay, that's a mature and normal response. You're seeing here, you know, bottom tier retail level managers. Okay, these are probably people that are not very experienced. They're still probably very young and immature. And they have to, you know, grow up a bit. When you have kids, oh boy. I could see that an employee would feel vulnerable in those circumstances, and it's a leadership responsibility to take what isn't just necessary, but a beneficial practice for the workplace, he said. Okay, so let's have a chat about this one, eh? So I don't know about our friend here, the TikToker, telling everyone to take sickies, even if they're not sick, just essentially to use it up. Okay, that's kind of bullshit. There's always going to be people that do that, but that follows you around. If you have a reputation of doing that, it will follow you around. People will realize. I mean, you're going to look up, you get a resume through, you'll look it up. You see, oh, look, he's a sickie advocate. Okay, offer him $5,000 less a year because all the sickies he's going to take. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be advocating for that. But if you're ill, you don't want to be spreading it. And I think this example here is just young people that are inexperienced. That's what it is. What do you reckon? What about all the lads in the construction sector? Do you get to take sickies, or does that just mean you have to work double the next day? Anyway, take care, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.